Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and welcome to This Week in WoW for the week of October 14th. Before we get started, we must shout out our wonderful Patreon supporters. We have Mario Casillas, Rep Pally Rocks, Nick Rada, Peter Burnham, Respec Ops, and Joe Glocks. Thank you guys so much for that support. Now, let's hop in and talk about what's going on in the game for this week. Let's start with retail in their actual game. We have PvP Brawl Comp Stomp. This is obviously one that people like to do to take advantage of the fact that it's a little bit easier than maybe normal PvP to maybe try to get achievements or, just rack up kills or get honor, etc., things like that. And we also have Time Walking Dungeon event going on. This event's usually really good for people with alts, or if you're just a casual character, or casual player, I should say, and a casual character, and you want to just get a nice little piece of loot from doing some Mythic Zeros or some really low Mythic Plus dungeons, you can do that and take part in that dungeon event. We also have one of my favorite in-game holidays, which is Hallow's End, starting up later this week. They've added something new to pretty much every single one. They also had mentioned something about a spooky story mode feature that they were going to do. And a lot of people thought maybe it would come out around Hallow's End. There's been no updates on that. So either they scrapped it or maybe it got pushed off or something else, right? Maybe it's just going to come much later than anybody would have thought, or maybe it's for next year. But there's been no updates on that. So if that comes out, that would be a surprise. Maybe they're trying to keep it a surprise as well, right? Maybe that's something else that they're doing, is just trying to keep it a complete surprise. But they could keep an eye out for that at least. But I think it's unlikely at this point. But definitely keep an eye out on it. Obviously, there's still the normal stuff you can do. You can go around and do the trick-or-treating. You can do the Headless Horseman stuff. And like I said, I'm sure that they're going to add something new, just like they added new. They've added at least like one new decent item, I would say, to pretty much every major holiday. And so I would imagine that for Hallow's End, they will have added something as well, whether that's like a mount. In fact, it might have already been data mined and it just got lost in the shuffle and I'm just forgetting about it basically. But whether it's a new mount, I want to say I almost remember seeing something about a new broom mount or something like that, or maybe a new Headless Horseman mount. But there is something going on here. There will be a new item of some sort, I'm sure. So I always do Hallow's End. Like I said, it's one of my favorite in-game things to do. My older son, who can play WoW, he likes going and doing the trick-or-treating and turning me into things with the magic wands. So I always do that to humor him and take part in that. So we have that going on as well. Now we can talk about Midnight Alpha stuff. So there hasn't been any huge developments coming on Alpha after a lot of news coming out right in the forefront of when Alpha came out. There is going to be a test for housing on the PTR. So if you're not somebody who pre-ordered Alpha or pre-ordered Midnight, and you're not somebody who's going to get the Alpha like me, but you do want to test out the housing, and you can have the PTR, right? I'm not going to explain how to get the PTR if you don't have it in this video, but you can test on the PTR. This was going to be today, Monday. I record this on Monday, but they canceled it and are going to have it a different day. So I don't know if it's Tuesday, the day this comes out, Wednesday, Thursday. I don't know when that is as of making this video, but you could maybe have a chance to do that. So if you keep your eyes peeled to socials or to the forums or to Wowhead, you may get a chance to take part in that if you want to. Like I said, there hasn't been a ton of news coming out in Alpha. There's been a few spoilers here and there. Obviously, this video is not for spoilers on the thing. One good thing, this is going out of the Alpha, but I just thought of this. I wanted to give you guys an update. I ended up not getting my Brewfest mount, which is a shame because I love Brewfest. So over 100 attempts, and I did not get the Brewfest mount. So that was a shame. I did want to mention that because I know some people were, wishing me luck and stuff. I ended up not getting it, unfortunately. So I did every character I could. I didn't do it every day on every character, but I did a lot. And like I said, over 100 attempts and did not get the mount, unfortunately. Back to Midnight talk. Like I said, there hasn't been a ton of stuff out. I imagine maybe there'll be even more stuff this week coming out. But I guess I would have imagined last week as well, and there wasn't much Midnight news coming out. There was a little bit of changes, some little slight changes to Rep Paladin that I did a video about. And we'll probably see some incremental changes here and there on that note. But when there is changes, of course, I'll keep updated on Alpha. I'm looking very forward to Alpha, just like I try to keep updated on the regular game, talking about the Brawlers Guild in a video last week. But however, I would say like the thing I've been doing the most for last, which is Legion Remix, spending a lot of time playing Legion Remix. In fact, almost all of my gaming time playing Legion Remix, and enjoying it a lot. It's very, very fun. I'm probably going to have to do a video on why it works so good, at least for me, and maybe some things that they can take out of Legion Remix and put it into the actual retail game. Probably namely like the artifact weapon system or the Heart of Azeroth system. I think the way it's done in Legion Remix is extremely satisfying. And I know not everybody wants an infinite grind, but I personally like the infinite grinds, and even if it's a small amount of power, 1% power or something, right? Every rank. I actually like that stuff, and I think, and it's also a way for even casual players to get stronger, right? So even if you're not doing the mythic raid, you can still grind up your thing. And I think the biggest thing is just to have the way it works in Legion Remix is everything you do participates to the grind of it. Now, the number one thing, yes, is doing raids and stuff, but I think if they bring it back to like retail WoW, since not everybody can do mythic raid because of time constraints, skill constraints, every different type of constraint, not wanting to constraint, have it come from equally from like every sort of content. Basically, the more you play the game, the more power you get on like this artifact weapon thing. I think that'd be really cool, and a lot of players would like it. Now, some people will complain about it. I 100% get it, and I know all the arguments because I used to be someone who was against it because I saw people around me getting stronger than me and me not having time to keep up with them. But I've changed my stance on that. You know, I honestly, like, it's gonna hurt your feelings maybe, but I don't care. You're kind of being a hater if you do that. I was being a hater when I was jealous of other people getting stronger than me. Who cares? Is my new stance on that. People who have time will be way stronger. It's like on Legion Remix, I'm at like 705 eye level as of making this video, and there are people who are done at 740 and completed because they did it the most optimal way and they played a little bit more than me. And I don't care. I don't hate them for that. It's fine. I think that's great. So, like I said, I could do a whole video on it, and I probably will. But I'm having tons of fun in Legion Remix. I expect to do more content for that this week, and hopefully other things as well. I would love if I randomly got invited to the alpha, then I would get on and do a bunch of Rep Paladin videos on the alpha, and maybe an exploratory secret finding video or something like that. Like what kind of secret I could see in the zones or something like that. You know, I would love to have access to the alpha still, but luckily I'm having a ton of fun in Legion Remix while not having alpha. So that'll be it for this one though, guys. Stay tuned for all this types of stuff coming out. All types of news, all types of content right now. It's pretty exciting. As a content creator, it's pretty exciting at least. So as always, I do ask you to please subscribe to the channel. It helps me out a lot. If you're already a subscriber, I encourage you to check out the Patreon. And other than that, everybody have a good one.